Hello everyone! Hello, hello, hello! How are we all doing today? Hello everyone, how are we all doing today on this fine evening? We're in California for round 8 of the GTEL Division 2 Championship. Laguna Seca is the venue. Probably one of my least favourite circuits in the world. Famous for its corkscrew corner, which is... I don't know how it's safe on a motorbike, but it is, apparently. Who knows? Anyway, we're here. How's everyone's day? How are we all doing? It's a big grid, 14 cars. With Mr. Mount currently topping the standings. Ariel's down in 5th. I think Ariel's doing medium runs. Gonna be a good qualifying. Laguna Seca always is. I remember last season's qualifying. It was brilliant. Casey on the front row of the grid. Where actually is he? He's in the pit lane. We'll run you through the order of everyone who is actually here joining us today, because it's a big group. There's a lot of them. Peachy's back. Picks 4. Brian, Lewis, Zen, Sick, Casey, Mr. Mount, Ariel, Mango, Phil, Hardcore Joe, and Neo. Oh, excuse me, a few familiar faces. Neo, I think Neo's done one race before. Mango's dropped down a div. Lewis, Peachy, and Mr. Mount. Yeah, they're all the people good to have back. Peachy's been gone for a few rounds, but we're all back. It's going towards the end of the championship. They should have been posted somewhere, just haven't got them. Should be ready to start soon. Thoughts for quali, lads? Quali's always good. I mean, it was brilliant last year. I think Casey was on pole. Ruben didn't actually get a lap in. Yeah, almost a full grid. Almost GB grid, yeah, almost a full grid. Which is also nice. What? Great Britain, despite kind of being the base for GTEL, never really had much of a presence, in all honesty. It took a while for a GB driver to get a win, and that was Cam West, and even then he didn't actually have a GB flag on. He had the UAE flag. No JD this weekend, which is a shame because he would do well around here. But yeah, JD, he can't make it today, sadly. Just trying to find the standing somewhere. We'll be starting very soon. I think we are about ready, actually. So yeah, it's... Are we having them? So then, hello Ento, good, get well soon Ento, by the way. I've literally found them and lost the standings, that's really annoying. Get well soon Ento. Everyone seems to be ready then. So let's hope Quali gets simple. It's going to be high on tyre wear. But really bad for the Corvettes this race. We saw Div 2 especially last season. The UMF boys really struggled around here. The tyre wear is horrid around this track. Tyre wear is absolutely horrid. Looking down at the standings though, 2 rounds to go. There may only be one officially. Depends. 11-point gap for Ariel. JD's not racing today. You're thinking things may just start to be sealed up a bit here for Ariel. No JD. Zen could make big inroads, but being in the Corvette, you're going to feel like he's going to struggle. Yeah, Zen's down in 3rd. He can make inroads on JD. He's 8 points back on JD. But he's gonna need a good performance. In all honesty, it's a really short track. Expect a lot of laps in. No Tim either. Shame. No Macaulay. It is really a three-way battle for the championship, and there's a 19-point gap between Ariel and Zen, so it's looking almost certain for Ariel at this point as Brian starts skidding his way along into the pit lanes as the first of the medium runners pile into the pit. But Mr. Mount starts, he's flying like Mr. Mount. Really good outing last time out in Quali in Div 1. I believe Mr. Mount though was the cause of the infamous turn 1 pile-up that we had here. It's a really chaotic turn 1, tight hairpin. Awkward grid as well, so expect chaos, in all honesty. Not the best exit out of turn number 2. Power on a bit too early, you'd have to say. Loses the rear. The Lexus really snappy. Zen follows through the Corvette. Good pace, maybe on a 1 lap, but when it comes to strategy, you're really thinking as there's Lewis off into the background. Can we get a replay of he's going to finally work? No, they're not. Oh, they do. What happened here for Lewis? So this is up for turn 3. I do love this shot. Helicopter, stable through there into Subaru. He's in the dirty air of 6 though, through, well, 4 technically. Dips a wheel onto the gravel and that's him round, and there is, yeah, he's picked up damage from that. But Mr. Mount, down from the corkscrew up towards turn 10. Really awkward sort of 90-degree turns here. Good exit from 10 up towards the final turn. Tight hairpin. Not a good overtaking opportunity, but you really need a good run. It's so hard to get a good run out of turn 10 following someone. Up towards the line. A 127, oh yeah, 121.7 is the time to beat Zen. 121.8, not far back. 6 a long way down. Less than a tenth between Mount and Zen, up towards the line for Neozone as he makes his return. Brand new Halix driver, he goes fourth with a 26.5. The championship leader goes third with 22.8. Hardcore, he's back as well. He's missed a few rounds, up towards the line for him. 25 flat. Peachy, he starts his first flying lap. The Estonian driver trying to be the best of the Estonians. They're wearing the finished flag. Estonia doesn't exist in this game, as Brian and Mango, 2 B&R drivers. Mango's looking quite good in quali. He's expecting a top 4, he said. As they all come through the first sector very close together, and you don't want to be doing stuff like that. Dipping onto the gravel out of 3, still allows Brian to close right up, and this is probably why you need to leave a bit of space. There's Joe running very wide. Casey, everyone's favourite, he starts his lap. He's going to try and learn from his mistakes. Last time out, not the best in terms of strategy. Probably cost him going for the one stop in the end. Still trying to find his way back in, and with the shortness of the lap, in comes the first of the drivers start a lap then. Ariel's on the mediums actually, that's interesting. So they're going to come in, take some new tyres, but no rubber. So maybe getting a lap in the mediums, getting a feel sick. He improves into third with a 22.5. Hardcore's also improving. Phil's also there. So I think Phil should be coming up to set a lap as well. Hardcore should get the toe off of Phil. There's Peachy and something. Look at this massive train. So we'll try and get this all in. Hardcore improves. He goes 6th, dropped instantly down as all the laps come in. Peachy goes 4th, Brian 5th, Mango goes straight to provisional pole for 21.5, takes him a 10th and a half above Mr. Mountains. Look at all this chaos, everyone piling out in the pit lane then. So PX4, he 24 flat, and this is what I mean, it's exciting qualifying session. So Peachy 22.4, sorry, Peachy the 22.1, 3 temps back, always sick having an off. Brian 22.4. Joe at 22.8. So your provisional poleman then Mango. Wrapping the B&R Academy livery up towards the famous corkscrew out of 6, up towards 7 and 8. Also known as the corkscrew. Peachy gets out the way, going to send it in, absolutely fling your way through it. Don't want to pick up a penalty. Track extension penalties so common there. Fill it a bit in the way, then you just think Mango's probably not going to be finding much time here this lap. And you see there's just so much chaos. Everyone's trying to race each other, battling for space. So Casey's in the pits, yet to set a lap. I think he's probably burning fuel or attempting to. There's 4 minutes left, so there's still time to get a lap in, as the times are all going to start coming down. Hardcore improves into 6th for 23.3. Over the crest, through the little kink at 1, there's Phil. That's not really a representative lap. So his spin here, as always, saw UMF Maystow up towards turn 4, caught for gravel on exit last season into the wall, and that was pretty much his race over. Engine damage all the way through the lap. These are the things that can happen, but Mr. Mount, 111, there's the number. Emergencies may be needed, he's hoping not though. Bit wide at 4. Hardcore's having a bit of a mess. He's going to try and get off the apex as he goes to the inside of the corner, but not really on track for Mr. Mount. He was pelled through the first sector. There's Mango, hopefully obliging with the blue flags. Then also on the toe of the Dutchman. We'll get a split on the exit of the corkscrew. All kind of line. You get the sense of speed they're coming through. It's one of the fastest parts of the track, and that's not a good line for Mr. Mount. He's probably going to pick up a penalty for that. Oh! Completely loses the rear end, and around goes Mr. Mount, barrel rolling in Zen. Prime time for that. Zen's only a 10th in, and Mr. Mount's going to have to get into the pits, get some fresh tyres on. He should be able to get into the pits, put on some fresh softs and go again. Round final turn though for Zen. Bit too far off the curb as you would like. Mr. Mount definitely into the pits then, up towards the line for Zen. Can he improve? He does, but he holds position. Mango into the pit lane as well. It's an improvement, but not enough. Oh, Phil a bit annoyed at Mango. Let's keep it polite. Ariel goes provisional pole with a 121.4. Didn't quite see that. Just having a look. Brian coming around final turn. Peachy up towards the line. Neo improves, but nowhere near what can Brian do. Currently in 6th, up towards the line for him. He improves, but he stays 6th. Joe's coming out to pit lane, and all he drives into pits now should be able to get out. Look, there's a long list of people. Ariel into the pit lane. Full tank fuel, feeling confident, but there's only a 10th gap there. Everyone's car's getting lighter. You'll probably, if you want pole, go for another lap here. Those 2 extra points will be crucial as Casey's winding up for a final. He should be able to get around. Oh no, I think Casey will only be able to get 1 lap in here. So he's going to have to make it count, and traffic may not be his best friend here. Up towards the final turn. Words being exchanged. Wow. Up towards the line then for Casey. He's still 12th of that time, as a few people haven't actually set a lap yet. A lot of people, they should be battling to get out and start their final flying lap, but Casey will follow along. Everyone's favourite back last week after a 4-month hiatus. It was over 120 days since this man last did a league race, especially in GTEL. Sick for 122.3 to put him inside the top 8. Solid exit though, not really extending over that curb. Solid right now so far through the first sector. Through turn 5, probably could push a bit more. This is the only lap he will get. Ariel not going to be improving. I don't think Ariel's going to be able to get pole here. This man, brilliant qualifying last time. He was in the Porsche, I believe. Can't quite remember what car. Oh no, it was in the Toyota. Through the corkscrew. Conservative. This is a track where you really need a bank lap, and he's not had a bank lap. He's not going to be there, I'm afraid. He's looking about 6th. At the end of the day, this is probably the importance of a bank lap. Maybe could have pushed in and got another one in. There's Lewis, and is that qualifying done for Lewis? I'm not sure, but the checkered flag's out. Up towards the line for Casey. What's it going to be? He goes 2nd. He found miles of time in the final sector there. And he's not far off pole. If only he had another chance. It's a 121.5. He knocks Mango down to 3rd. Mango's actually at the back of his train. Zen pretty much leaves the train. Oh, there's a mistake, I believe, there for Neo. I'm just trying to look who is ahead of Zen. We won't be able to get a good look, I don't think. Is it Sick? It's not. Zen's currently down in 5th, was the early championship leader. It's PX4 up ahead. Oh, Zen's actually on an outlap, so he won't be improving. PX4 won't be improving. Trying to see who's next. There's Joe, he improves 6th with 21.9. Improves Mr. Mount, goes provisional pole for now. Could anyone else beat the lap? It's a 121.3. Brian a 121.9 goes 3rd. Peachy goes 8th. Sorry, Brian went 6th. Mango goes to the top then by a 10th. It's a 121.2. Hardcore is a long way down. Hardcore goes 10th. Phil improves. He goes to 13th. And Lewis trying to do last to first again. And an exciting end to the qualifying session. Mango on pole, followed by Mount, Ariel, and then Casey. We've got a race on our hands here, and the strategy is going to be the all-important thing. So, not everyone's happy with Mango being here, but at the end of the day, Ariel's only a 10th and a bit off, which is some of the gaps in qualifying. Casey's not far off. The top 4. Anyone says Visa Div 1 pace, well in qualifying, this is where they place. Casey, 4th. Brilliant return, brilliant lap, and you just think Casey would be right up there if he didn't. If Casey was able to get a banker in, Casey would be up there. But this man's on pole. He's known for a good start. What can he do into turn 1? Mr. Mount 2nd on return. There's confirmation of the qualifying results. Mango on pole is the first British pole in a long time, followed by Mr. Mount, Ariel, and Casey. 2 Brits in the top 4. Round 8 of GTEL Division 2 Championship at Laguna Seca event. Look at the tightness of the grid. It's going to be a chaotic start. It always is here. It's Mango on pole for the first time, followed by Mr. Mount, and then PTY Ariel, the championship leader. Casey on and his second race back in Div 2 is fourth. Zen and Brian make up row number 3. And then Joe and Peachy, row number 4. We'll ride on board with Casey then for the start of this race. The lights are on then, it's mediums for Casey. It's a lot of wheel spin at the start there for Casey. Brian's got off to a good start. There's chaos in the back and it's a chaotic start there. And what's gone on there then? There's chaos as Mr. Mount leads, followed by Brian, Mango, Casey round the outside, 4 wide there. Brian trying to go down the inside, he's up into 4th. Peachy's into 5th. Zen, he's going down the inside, trying to make his way up. He's into 5th there. Brian's on a penalty, but Mr. Mount leads early on, but as they come through turn number 3, Brian followed by Peachy, Zen, Casey, Lewis has got himself up into 8th at the start, fills into 9th as they come through turn number 4. What happened there at the start? We'll try and get a look at that at some point. But Brian and Peachy got themselves up. Mango's into 2nd. I thought Mango was involved there. No, it's Ariel. Ariel's been involved. Ariel's got damaged. So the championship leader, if JD was in this, well, he would be rubbing his hands together, but the championship leader's gone and picked up damage at the start as we go up towards the corkscrew van. 2 by 2, pretty much everyone. Peachy's got ahead of Brian. Casey's under pressure from Zen as Zen's trying to go around the outside of the Brit. Casey tried to fight back though. Zen gets that position, a bit of a tag in the rear there. Onto Brian it seems as Zen, can he move around the outside? It's going to be a brilliant move if he can pull it off, not quite. Lewis up into 8th from 14th. This man did the last to a podium at Spa, trying to do it again. As up into 8th in the chaos, up towards the final turn. We said it wasn't really an overtaking spot, but Lewis has got past Joe Van as he's now up into 7th, and it's a brilliant first lap for Lewis. So then Mr. Mount leads, followed by Mango, Peachy, Brian, Casey, Zen, Lewis and Joe. We'll have a look then at the start what happened if... Come on! It won't let... What happened at the start? It let us... It won't let us do a replay. God knows why. So I'll try and find... We'll go back. What actually happened at the start then? On the YouTube screen. You hear a lot of wheel spin. Oh! Ah! Looking, I think there may have... The wheel spin you heard from the onboard, I believe, was probably from Ariel, and Zen got a blistering start down in P6. He moved his way all the way up, and I think because of the tightness of the track, Ariel goes to defend it, and Zen kind of accidental, and into the pits then. Zen has picked up damage, so into the pits comes the pole. But Mount leads with a 2.3 second gap. Mount's on the softs, and Mango is actually on the medium. So Mr. Mount has got a bridge of gap. He's done this before in Austria in Div 1. Brian tried to find a switch back into turn 1. Casey bumps him along a bit there. But Peachy, into P3. So Mount leads, followed by Mango. Peachy all over the place there as Brian and Casey putting all kinds of pressure. Lewis is up in 6. He tries to close the gap down. Hitting the curve. That's really no one to do. Good save there by the Brit. Joe sick. Ariel's up into 10th. Ariel's managing that damage well, but Ariel's... Oh, who's that that's round? I believe that is Phil that's gone round. Yes. Ariel's finished no lower than 7th in a race. Sorry, Ariel's finished no lower than 2nd. He's been 1st or 2nd in every race this season. Right now we're down to 10th. We've seen Ruben do stupid stuff before and pull his way up. He did it at this very track last season, last 2 first challenge. Brian's got past... Brian and Casey have both got past Peachy. He's dropped down to 5th as Casey's all over the back of the Estonian now. But Lewis is trying to latch onto the back. I think down up towards the final turn, Joe's defending the inside from his teammate of 6-6. Tries to find a switch back there. But a good exit. It's going to who's got the better drive, the Aston Martin or the Porsche. And up towards turn 1. Sorry, it's the Jaguar, I believe. I can't quite see, but sit comfortably ahead. Then up towards turn number 1 for the rest of them. Casey down the inside. Bit of a switchback move there by Peachy. On to Peachy, sorry. Brilliant move. No replay available again as Gran Turismo really needs to fix that up. But Mount bridging a 4.4 second gap, then fastest lap, last lap at 21.9. And Casey trying to find his first podium. He was gutted with a 4th place last season. Brian trying to find his early form, got back-to-back podiums. Start of season for Brian, couldn't recreate anything for the end of the start of the season, but right now he's in a good position. Casey ran in second, or ran in first for most of the race actually, and ended up finishing 4th. Brilliant effort by Zen at the end there. Last week at the Nürburgring to deny Casey, but this man, he's on a hunt. And so is this man. Started 14th, he's gained 8 positions. Oh, and that's really not what I want to be doing. Good save though, the corkscrew. Shows how dangerous it can be. But Mr. Mount really knows that the guys behind, they're on the mediums, and he's gonna have to put his foot down here. I'll be surprised if anyone's able to pull a one-stop. JD's not really here. Aero's got to manage some damage. But Mango, he's having a good outing right now, but the tyre wear will be a problem. It's chaos, side by side. Casey got a good exit. He's going to have the inside line at turn 1. King up towards Brian, covers off. Yeah, actually, Casey's going to try to go around the outside really late on the brakes. Whereas Casey zooms past him. Brian's going to have a penalty. That's going to have to be served outside of turn number 5. Casey can't find a switchback. Brought defending there by Brian as Peachy's right to the back as well. And Lewis only 7/10ths off. But Brian running wide out of turn 3 is going to want to get back on the track instantly, but that penalty will have to be served instantly no matter how close anyone behind you is. Up towards turn 5, Brian covers the inside line, defending, moves across under braking there. That's not the best idea. Casey tucked right behind him. Brian will have to serve that penalty, and Casey's going to have to be aware of that as he does late on as possible. Bit sketchy in towards the corner, but oh, there's Lewis off again. Can Lewis hold on to it? He can. He's not picked up any damage, but towards the corkscrew then. Casey now into third, followed by Peachy down the inside of the corkscrew. That's really late. Peachy forces Casey right off, and there's going to be contact there by someone as Brian finds his way back through down the inside. He's going to be back up into 4th, and Casey, has he picked up damage from that? Peachy really forced him off, and Peachy, good sportsmanship, lets the Brit back through. And now everyone's been invited in as Lewis has been caught up towards by Joe, as Joe's going to try and send it down the inside of the hairpin. Lewis slams the door shut, bit of a fish head at the end, way too much torque going through the tyres. And up towards turn 1, we're going to have a bit of a move going on here. Mango comfortably though, 5 seconds ahead of Brian into this chaos. Ensues further back. Casey covers the inside line. Peachy tries to find the switch back further back. Sick on his teammate Joe in the battle for 7th. And the more this goes on, the more Aerial's rubbing his hands together despite having that front nose damage. Starting to make his way back up. Sick up towards turn number 4, down the inside of his teammate again. And Aerial's still finding ways. Aerial's looking like he's going to get his way back into this. Further down the order, Zen's in 12th after making an early pit stop. Started on the mediums, and it's going to have to be chaos to find out what tyres everyone's actually on. So, Mango. So, softs for Mr. Mount, softs for Mangoes, mediums for Brian, mediums for Casey. Who's on the softs is actually the real question. You've got Mount on softs, Hardcore on softs, Sick on softs, Neo on softs, and Phil on softs. I think Phil pitted early, so Mount, Sick, Hardcore, Neo, Phil and Zender in the ones we really need to look out for. Don't quite know what tyres Zen actually was on when he pitted. We can find that out though. As the battle for 3rd is this whole train. Brian 13 seconds off the leader compared to, yeah, Joe's only 7. There's 4 seconds between them, and then 5 seconds back then will be Aerial. So they're all close with it. They're all in a place for a podium. But the gap to the leaders, 7 seconds. Mr. Mount really knows the task at hand. He needs to pull that gap. The medium tyres will have, the softs have that pace advantage over the mediums. Come the end of the stint, the mediums will actually gain. When it comes to about 15 minutes into the stint, the mediums will start to pull it back. But right now, Mr. Mount He's doing what he needs to do. He's pulling that gap. About a 10-second gap would be really good pace-wise, and right now, if he can get that up by the 15-minute mark, I think he'll be happy. Maybe we see some people going for a free stop. Casey all over the back of Brian. Brian's going to cover the inside line. Is Brian going to slam the door shut again? Is Casey going to try and go around the outside? He's going to try and recreate that move again that he did earlier on. Brian defending nicely. Can he keep on the track? Kind of. It pushed him a bit wide, but Brian did leave the space, but the inside line for Casey then. Up towards turn number 3. He will get that move done as Brian doesn't really have a response for that. And Lewis is all over the back of Peach as well in the battle for 5th. So this battle for 3rd then. Casey, Brian, Peachy and Lewis. One of them's a race winner. 3 of them podium sitters. Peachy's never been on a podium. And all this squabbling really, you have to think none of them really at this point, they're so far back, can be in the shot winning this unless something drastic happens. 8 seconds lead. Look at the fuel. I don't know how many people are probably thinking of a one-stop. It will be a stretch really to think about it. But the Helix boys, Joe and Seca, I don't believe they've had a podium this season. They would love one of them. Hardcore is into nap. Hardcore? Sorry, I had a voice crack. Hardcore has just got past the championship leader. And then he's done that. Well, what was looking good is short-lived. Zen, though, bangs in the fastest lap of a 21.7. Up towards turn 1. Lewis all over the back of Peachy. Lewis really wants this 5th place. Started in 14th, right at the back of the grid. Now up in 6th. Goes a bit wide there. Peachy drifts that car wide. Brilliant defending skills. Sees Lewis. He just shuts the door. But that's allowing Brian ahead to sort of pull away. But right now, Peachy's keeping Lewis at bay as Brian one's very wide, and that's going to allow Peachy to close back in and then maybe just back everyone up. But right now, Casey's going to start getting to work and trying to close that door. Lewis tries to find a bit of a gap down the inside on the exit of 5 round. Sorry, right, the outside at 5, the exit of 4. Nothing can be done. Peachy covers the inside again, up towards 6. Still no way through for Lewis. A bit wide there, both. Peachy's going to open up the door for Lewis. The acceleration over the port, so much better than the Super. Up towards the corkscrew. Lewis holding that inside line. Is going to go for it. No, he thinks better of it. As Peachy's going to recreate the same move he did on Casey. Really late on the brakes, forcing it through on Brian. And now Lewis is going to be up into 5th round the outside. But Brian's got the door shut. Lewis is kind of boxed in here. Inside line at 10, though. That was dirty again for Peachy. Brian did the same thing to Vassal last time we was here, last season, but Lewis up into 5th now as Casey's comfortably pulling ahead on his mediums. 7 seconds is the gap, personal best lap for him. Taking near a second out of Mango last lap. Lewis, under pressure from Peachy, wants that place back, but Lewis defends nicely indeed. So, Brian again running wide as Peachy. That's really late there. Sort of forcing his way through. Peachy's risking a penalty, and Lewis are going to go 3 wide on the exit 4. And Joe's going to get involved here as well. We're going to see 5 wide. Lewis prevails into 4th. Hops the curb. That's going to allow Peachy to get the run back. Lewis gives him the space. He knows that Peachy's a bit argy-bargy. Joe's trying to find his way up in 6th as he's going to be late on the brakes onto Brian. Not quite. There's a bit of contact, and Brian kind of gets forced wide, whereas Peachy hops the curb, but Brian into 5th. There's Brian running wide. Think he's lost a rear there. That might be Brian in the wall, but up into 7th. Then as Brian going to go 3 wide again in this battle as Aero's now up into 7th. Brian's dropped down to 8th. Joe's going to be caught up into a spin. Brian's going to try and get the switch back onto Aerial. He might be able to get it done up towards turn 9. And what is this? This is brilliant racing as we go up towards turn number 10. Casey, though, he's comfortable. He's going to be glad he's out of that. And what is going on? There's never a dull moment in GTEL. As Case takes another 2 attempts out of Mango that lap. It seems up towards the corkscrew. Up towards turn 2. How late is Peachy going to be? Peachy's testing his luck here. Peachy's being really risky on the brakes. I can see Peachy being protested. I can see the stewards are going to have a long look after this. But Ariel, the big news, up into 7th then. From 4th, Lewis has gained 10 places. Ariel after being caught up at the start. And up towards then, 6 trying to find his way through. 6 on the soft, so his tyres really struggling. 6 will drop off at the end of this race, surely being on the softs right now. Casey last lap, tiny bit quicker, only the tiniest bit. How late will Peachy be on the brakes is always the question into the corkscrew, it seems. And I'm going to try and find then when Zen pitted. Zen was on the mediums, there we go. Zen, can confirm then Zen has used both sets of tyres. Hardcore was down on softs, Neo was on softs, still on softs, PX4 was on mediums, and Brian started on the mediums, now comes out on softs. So Brian probably picked up damage there. Gets pit stop early though. Probably going to be changing his game plan. So Brian and Zen have used both sets of tyres. Mango with a penalty, he will have to serve. That we'll see. We will observe that, just making sure. The stewards don't get paid, the volunteers. 10 seconds as a gap though, pretty much on target. Mango serves as penalty. That's going to increase the gap between 1st and 2nd and close the gap between 2nd and 3rd. Peachy all out attack then again as 6 got his way through into 5th on the soft compound of tyre. Lewis, he's into 4th. Casey's pulling away here. And 6th there, running very wide. Ariel caught up again then. What happened there? We really need a replay. I think Sick may have rejoined the track pretty unsafe there, and Ariel's been caught out with the dirtiest of dirty driving as Sick goes very deep again. Gonna want to avoid an unsafe rejoin. Oh, that is very close. If you was making the highlights for this. Yeah, last lap Mr. Mount was about to win a race. He left on the final lap. I remember that, gave Lewis the win that day. Round 4, all into the pits then, comes 6. 6 on the soft. We said after 15 minutes the tyres are going to go off a bit, and look at the tyre wear, they're not looking too good, and he's picked up damage, so yeah, Arrow definitely hit him in the rear there. So yeah, I mean, Maggio round 4 last season. I think Ricky DNF'd. Oh, a big mistake there by Lewis out of 4, out of 3 to power and way too soon. Personal best for sector 4, Peachy through there. Ariel was really not enjoying this. But yeah, Mr. Mount, I think Ricky DNF'd. I think it wasn't Ricky, it was someone. It was probably Ricky. It was a Dutch guy, they DNF'd. Then Mr. Mountain inherited the lead on the last lap, he DNF'd, and then Lewis won. 10 minutes to go, the leader DNF'd, and Mr. Mountain DNF'd on the last lap, and this man, the first official British winner in a GTL race. Very feisty from everyone. Looking down the order, PX4, he's made a mistake, so we drop down into 13th. 6 come out on softs again. Hardcore's come out on the medium, so add hardcore to that list. Sick has another set. Hardcore has to use the mediums at some point. Mango, Casey, Lewis. 3 Brits in the top 4, Dutch leads. I don't know why Huber isn't racing, to be honest. Maybe he'll be back next season. Next up on the chopping block though for Ariel is Joe. It's a good exit there out of turn 5. Really prioritising that, and into the pits then comes the race leader pretty much on key for 20 minutes. Bit shaky on Expo. Up towards the corkscrew we're going to go. The powered Corvette's really going to prevail here. Late on the brakes for Ariel. No, he's going to keep it behind the Joe. Opens the gap a bit there. Things better off. And into pits also comes Mango. So KC will inherit the race lead. Soft Mount Mediums for Mango. They've got a massive gap here compared to everyone else, but Casey, your new race leader. Into the pits also comes Lewis. Fuel advantage for Mr. Mount as well. And he's done a pretty good job. 15 seconds. He's built up that gap for his medium stint, and away he goes on the medium. So he has done brilliantly that stint to bridge the gap, and I think it's the first person, as he's going to be racing with Ariel and Joe actually on exit. Can he get the exit needed? He's going to be stuck behind them. Oh, just about, which is not what he wants. Mango comes out on a pair of softs. So he's also completed the strategy, and Lewis should as well. It would be weird for him to go onto another pair of softs, and indeed he does go on to another pair of mediums, and indeed does go out on the softs. That is a penalty for Zen, I believe. Who got a penalty? I think Ariel might have had that. No, it's all coming down the pitch straight. There's a lot of chaos. May have been Brian, I'm not sure. Brian's actually jumped Lewis. So the undercut really held. Brian went really early, but Lewis all over the back of him there. Both these guys on the softs. This is the battle for net fourth. Everything else, though, it's a bit of chaos as Mr. Mount, the current race leader, caught up in traffic, got past Ariel. Zen's up onto the back of Ariel as well. That's helpful. Just needs to clear Joe and then get to work. Mango will probably also have a bit of traffic to clear, actually. I don't know. Into the pits then comes Joe. He's not going to have to deal with that. Who knows? Will Casey pit this lap? Surely will. I think. Does Casey? No, Casey stayed out. Oh, Casey trying to one-stop here. Oh, that is risky. If he can put it off, he can work. The sauce, though, won't hold up. The tyre, I don't believe, will hold up again. No, Mango started on mediums. It was Mount that started on softs. Casey doesn't have the tyre savings, so there was no offence to him. If the mediums are looking like that 22 minutes in, the soft's going to be absolutely screwed. Unless it goes to something different. Brian out of battle of the Corvettes. Battle for fourth on track. Ariel and Zen up towards the corkscrew. Casey in this lap, maybe. Please, buddy. Oh, God bless your soul. Another podium gone, I think, for Casey. Mr. Mount, though. What is his gap? It's going up. Mango needs to try. At the pits, it was 15 seconds. Mango needs to find 15 seconds. He's now on the softer compound. He's on the quicker compound, and Mr. Mount had a bit of traffic. Mango will be catching up to Zen and Ariel, though, at some point. Ariel's still not changed his damage. Has Ariel pitted? Ariel's not pitted yet, has he? No, Has Ariel pitted? He hasn't. No, because he started on mediums. Oh my God, Ariel's looking brilliant right now. Brilliant comeback drive. I think we're about to see the fastest lap get banged in here. Oh, it was 21.7 for Mango. Up towards the corkscrew for your race leader then, Casey. Peachy's in second now. Mr. Mount already catching Peachy. The undercut so effective. Brian's in 8th, and everyone's kind of just scattered everywhere. Lewis is in 7th, comfortably ahead. The overcut eventually paying off. The undercut was so massive by Brian, he was kind of... Lewis is now just going to be able to bridge the gap and put his foot down. Now this is actually crucial, because Lewis, with how long Casey's going, let's manage a 24-2 last lap for Casey. Lewis. Oh, Lewis has had a mistake somewhere coming out of 5. Can we have a look? No, we can't. And as we were saying, actually, Lewis might be able to jump Casey here with an undercut. I'll take that back because I've absolutely jinxed you, mate. And there was a mistake out of 5. Brian's got back through, but Peachy racing Mr. Mount, then the net race leader. And this is not what you want with how rough he's been. The switchback though down the inside is going to try and go at turn 4 here. Should be comfortable. The fresher tyres you'd like to think. You can't really argue with that. Plain and simple, the tyre wear for Zen on the softs really not looking good. And Zen's gone a fairly long way here. 25 seconds off the race leader. That gap up to 13 seconds, or down to 13 seconds, man. And Mount is having to contend with a bit more traffic than he probably would have liked. Through the corkscrew he goes. 12 seconds, he's gaining on Casey. Brian at 23.3. 20. Yeah, Brian's gaining. Brian may jump back into the podiums magically. Casey, still no pit. Still no pit. Ariel, this Zen won't be able to go onto the back from Ariel. Will definitely be going for a one-stop, and he has the fuel to do it, which is insane on the Corvette. Casey, however, is the fuel. Tyres ain't holding on. It's going to be a miracle for Casey in all honesty. He's got 14 seconds on the one-stop though, compared to his compatriot Ariel. Lewis picked up no damage, but he's now stuck in traffic, and any chance for last to podium again for Lewis has pretty much been drafted out after that mistake. We're still 33.5 minutes to go here. Anything can happen, probably will happen. It is absolutely chaotic. Casey past to entry again. Peachy's keeping touch, both on mediums, but 24 flat for Mr. Mount last lap. Mango's really eating into us actually. Mango's nearly onto the back of him. Mango's soft pace. We'll see, up towards the line. Mr. Mount did deal with traffic. 22.7. Ariel into the pits van. A lot of people are actually attempting a one-stop here, and they're gonna have to go at least 2 more laps. And in 2 laps, will Mango catch up to them or not? So if Mango does, there's a mistake there. Mango really pushing it. Only if Mango does catch up, again, running wide. It's not what you want to be doing. PX4's on medium. PX4's already pushing for a one-stop. Neo on medium, started on softs. Ariel looking down the order, hardcore. We got you. Joe was on. We haven't got Joe. 6 still needs to use both sets of tyres. We've got Lewis, got Brian. Just looking, who haven't we got? We've got Zen was the first, so we've got 9 out of the 13 remaining drivers. As I throw my phone. 23-1. How much time? Mr. Man, actually, that's a good lap for Mr. Man. He's pulled time. Mistakes by Mango. But he won't. Mango won't catch his traffic. I think all the one-stops are going to be a lot of people pitting this lap. Maybe the back markers catch up to him and maybe cause some traffic, who knows. PX4 should make it the 10th person to use both compounds of tyres. So, Casey yet to pit in this lap red light. So Casey, Peachy. I think it's Casey, Peachy, and Sick. In this lap. Oh, come on. You are not enjoying. He's losing so much time to Mr. Mount as well. The one-stop's really not that good around here, with, especially unless you have magical tyre wear like Ruben, JD, or Ariel. It's I think we understood last week Casey's tyre saving skills just not up to par for the one stop. Ultimately, it'd probably be quicker for him to go for the two stop. I mean, you've only just come back to the game, we understand, and eventually you'll get it up to there. But if it's not up to there yet, why are you trying to? It's probably not the quickest strategies. Oh, Ariel. Oh, sorry, Peachy. Basically misses his braking point, completely goes very deep in towards turn number 2. And Mango all of a sudden may fancy his chances catching up to the back of Peachy before he pits. He probably won't like catching traffic, in all honesty. Mr. Matt will be definitely hoping he does, but Casey, again, losing like 2 seconds a lap. Shut up, JD. No. I'm honestly questioning the likelihood of Div 1 tomorrow. Will it happen? Will it not? Into the pits this lap for Zen as well. Zen's probably going to have to pull a free stop here or somewhere. If Zen half tanks it here, Zen can be all over it. But into the pits then comes Casey. He's on the mediums, so he should go onto the softs, and I don't think the softs are really going to hold up. In my humble and honest opinion, what is Zen doing? Zen's going to be in mad fuel saving mode, all I'm saying, and he's going to get caught. Peachy's staying out as well, trying to go longer, and Mango will catch traffic down. Mr. Mount retakes the race lead. And Mango, he's taken, ultimately from the pit stop, he's only taken 5 seconds out of Mr. Mount. Mr. Mount took 10. Oh, sorry, Mr. Mount took 15 seconds in the first stint. Casey comes out, full tank of fuel and a pair of softs on. Zen's really struggling here. Zen's really low on fuel. His tyre wear, Zen's crawling, and Mango is going to catch her up to the back. Casey's already into 8th. He's going to be battling on peg exit with Joe. Lewis is into 6th. Now this is the gutting thing. Look where Lewis is. Lewis would be in 3rd right now. He can still catch Brian, obviously. But if Lewis didn't have that spin, Lewis, he lost 7 seconds. Lewis would be, what? He would be 3 seconds ahead of Brian at least, and looking for another last to the podium. And now Casey on fresh offs is going to be hunting him down. Into the pits then comes Zen Q Meister, and Peachy is staying out, and Mango has caught a bit of traffic. He didn't catch Zen though, which is probably the fortunate thing for him. He didn't lose too much time. 10 seconds, clean air. The tyres are pretty much they're holding up nicely. Still another 7 minutes to go for the stint. But Mr. Mount's running a brilliant, brilliant race. And now there's a bit of a train. Brian leads from Lewis, Casey and Joe. We're all getting familiar again with this chaos. Sick yet to go on to the mediums. Oh, Ariel's all over the back of him. How much is Sick going to defend this? Is Sick going to let him go? This is crucial for Ariel's comeback. Sick, does he just let him go? He's going to try and find the switch back. Ariel goes quite deep into turn number 2, and Sick just barges past him. It's a bit dirty inside line for Ariel up towards 3. You see 6 late on the brakes. He's going to really try and fight. Ariel's got to really wrestle his way through. He does get through eventually. But Mango, that gap, 6 seconds now. Clean ace. Mount has had a mistake somewhere in this lap. And Mango has taken a good 4 seconds out of him, and that's not what Mr. Mount wants. He's had a mistake somewhere. Probably out of corkscrew, I'd say. And now that's 27.3 compared to... That's 5... Yeah, he's taken 5 seconds out of him. When he was only taking about a second a lap, Mr. Mount's... Come the end of a stint, the times should start balancing out a bit. If you look at them, they are going to start balancing out. But Mr. Mount really could have been comfortable. He could have been looking at an 8-second gap going into the pits, and he would be absolutely buzzing with that. He'd be happy with that. He'd be enjoying that sort of gap going into the final stint, where they'll undoubtedly both be on the soft compound of tyre, and it's just being pretty much a sprint to the line then at that point. You're not making any more pit stops, just who can drive the fastest. Further back though, Lewis has got past Brian, and Casey's going to be pushed off wide by Brian Perez. That's coming through turn 2, sorry. But Lewis back into the net pole. Peachy's not pitted yet! This man's gone 35 minutes! He has officially done the longest stint in GTEL history! What's he doing? Oh, this man's insane, and Lewis should get promoted into the podium spots there. Joe's also going to be involved in this chaos. Casey dropped right down in 7th, and Casey going for a one-stop, not going to be enjoying this. Up towards the corkscrew, I was going to like this, and into the pit, 0 fuel on the dot. Peachy gets back through, and Peachy should make it 12, and we are just waiting on Sick then to go on to the softs for everyone to have completed the acquired using 2 different compounds of tyres. It's getting very chaotic through the final sector as Lewis is now bridging a gap back ahead of what he should have been early on. He's caught up to traffic with Neo. Neo should get the blue flags and let him through instantly. He does pull to the side. Further back, them in about 4th. Brian heads this group, followed by Joe and Casey. Casey on the one-stop can just sit behind and maybe try and save a bit of fuel. Saving the fuel allows him to then go and chunk out a bit more, put his foot down a bit more, be a bit more comfortable at the end of it. I don't know. Lewis running in 3rd van. And I'm saving everything just to make sure. So if highlights are needed, and highlights very well maybe needed after this. Down the inside, Casey gets 2 in 1 turn. Practically, Peach's going to try. Sorry, Joe's going to try and follow through as Brian's getting very side by side up towards corkscrew. You see, Joe's kind of boxed in. He's going to be a bit of a sitting duck as Brian's going to try and go around the outside. It's all sorts of chaos. Casey's hit again for like the 50th time through the corkscrew. Now Ariel's going to close back in down the inside for turn 9. Casey holds back through, and Brian's going to try and fight it though. Down the inside at turn number 10. Late on the brakes for Casey. Brian just bails out of it, and into the pits then comes Brian. Brian's going early, he's thinking of the undercut. And it may work, and Lewis though, 6 seconds up the road. Mango, that gap is now holding on, and you would look at Mr. Mount, and he's not gained any time. You'd think if it wasn't for Mr. Mount taking a trip somewhere, Mr. Mount would probably be 10 seconds up the road, and he would be very happy with that at the end of the stint, only losing 5 seconds. When he's on for mediums compared to the softs, but Casey now has to try and close down that 6-second gap. Does Lewis go early and try and focus on closing down that gap to Casey? Because Casey in the end of this, he's going to be... Casey should probably be crawling at the end of this. And Lewis can't nullify that gap. He needs to stop that gap going down as much as possible. Casey trying to one-stop this. The softs at the end are going to be absolutely spent. This man's going to have to go... not as long, but the softs at the end of it will just get burnt up. Sends into 7th, Ariel into 5th now as him and Joe still going at it. Up towards the corkscrew though. If Ariel catches Casey and they start battling, well, that's not good news. They're both on a one-stop. I think Ariel is probably the quicker of the 2 of them. As we go up to the front, yeah, that gap's not really increasing, decreasing, whatever. Fascinating. Is that's Joe into the pit, so Joe then responds. But Casey's hunting Lewis down. Lewis should probably pit this lap. He probably will look in fuel. He doesn't want to get caught up at this stage with Casey. As the red light comes on, as if he starts battling Casey, he starts making mistakes like that, he's going to be losing even more time. Wants to be ahead of Casey before he pits, so he's going to have to focus on that. Closing down 30 seconds. I mean, Casey may be looking at a return podium. It took this man ages to get a podium. It seemed like it's a daily occurrence for him. Into the pits then comes Mr. Mount with a 5-second gap, and Mango stays out, and that's not good news because the undercut is wonderful around here. And Mango's on the softs. Mr. Mount will go on to a fresh pair of softs, and well, it's not good news. Red light on for Lewis in this lap for fresh tyres and fuel. Here comes the probably man of the hour. I mean, we still don't know what happened at the first lap. Into the pits comes Lewis then. And Casey will go through into second. He'll take the race leader later on. What is the gap between himself and Mr. Mount? Where is Mr. Mount's coming out? Mr. Mount, you're not really thinking Casey's going to win this at the end of the day. Mr. Mount battled with Ariel last time. He's going to, oh, is he going to be just ahead? No, he's going to be just behind. But fresh tyres is going to be thinking straight away, getting onto it and getting past him. He's got to try and catch Casey. These are the one-stoppers. These are the biggest fear for Mr. Mount. He's going to have to get his way through pretty much instantly. Casey. Oh, who's going to win this? I think there's going to be a four-way. We'll see. We'll see. Into the pits for Mango. Mr. Mount does need to clear Ariel as soon as possible. I think he's going to wait for the... He's not going to do anything reckless to get him a penalty. He will just be waiting, though. Up towards the final turn. Pulls out last minute. And Ariel, well, Mount catches Ariel sleeping. That is a brilliant move there by the Dutchman. Into the pits for lap 4, sick. He should go into the mediums, which is going to be not that good for him at the end of it. He has... You know, he stays out. Peachy's trying to go 25 minutes, so he went 35 minutes. That's insane. Hello, Bruno. Hello, Helix. Hello, Edgar. Casey leads then. 3 seconds as there's purple straight away for Mr. Mount. I'm not expecting Casey to win this or Ariel. That gap's going to fly ahead. If Ariel can stick with him, Ariel's got to go a lot longer. These tyres on Ariel's are at least 10 minutes older than Mr. Mount's, and eventually we'll see through the corkscrew, to be fair. The Corvette, we know the Corvette does have a lot of power behind it. It can move a lot, but through the corkscrew, this is where, especially in the final sector, how much time has Mr. Mount gained? That's a good 10th just through one turn. Through this final sector where you really need the grip. I think once Mr. Mount breaks that toe, Casey's going to firm eyes on Casey. But Ariel sticking with him right now as we go further back in the battle for 4th. Zen and Mango. Zen's going to try and go a long way here. Zen's holding off Mango pretty nicely. Zen pitted quite early on. Zen's going to have to go a long way compared to Mango, but we know Zen's got pace. Zen is a race winner. If Zen wants it, Zen can probably get it. Into the pits then is sick. Zen 9 seconds off the leader of Casey. Zen could be looking at a podium here, to be fair. Anyone could get a podium. Zen, he's got fuel to the end here. Zen pitted early. I don't know if it was a damage, but changing the strategy. Zen right now, he's having a brilliant race strategy-wise. Props to him. He's ran this pretty much perfectly. I know Mango's all over the back of him right now, but 5 drivers probably in the shout of podium. Peachy, I don't think Peachy can close down the line any that sort of gap. It's about 10 seconds he needs to close down for the podium. Actually, it's a bit more than that. Side by side, Mango tries to force his way down the inside. Zen's not really going to let that side up towards turn number 10. Fresh tyres Mango may have, but the experience and what we've seen to be brilliant pace for Zen. COC man tries to get the switch back through the final turn. Has to move out. He's got a good exit. Whenever Corvette's got some power, he's going to be inside line through the 2 little kings. One being apparently a turn. Down the inside, he will have it. Mango just has to sit back into the toe. He's going to think about a move down the inside. Then covers the inside line. Bit of a switch back there. Maybe we don't see. We do see Vittorio to peek through. Hello there, says Mango. Eat my dust, though, says Zen as he gets onto the gravel, kicking on dust in the back ass end of California. Zen holds on brilliantly, and this is a brilliant drive right now, and Lewis is actually down in 7th now. So the strategy game's really paid off, and Peachy, he's jumped up masses, and Lewis, I think the 2 stoppers may have been wrong here. The 1 stop pretty much has been Mr. Mount, Mr. Mount, then Mango, David the pace, Ariel. Ariel probably would be, well, Ariel definitely would be leading if it wasn't for that earlier mishap, let's say. And he's keeping with Mr. Mount. 2 seconds to Casey. And they're still going, and Zen's still holding on him. This is brilliant by the pole. And there's still 15 minutes of this to go. As we approach the 33rd lap of this race. It's a short track, you get a lot of laps in. And Zen right now is running this brilliantly. Peachy, the more that Mango and Zen actually battle, the more that you're thinking that maybe Peachy could get himself up there and up for his best sort. I think his best sort is a 4th. I'm not too sure. Last lap, fastest lap of the race, 8 attempts quicker than Casey. Put the end of this, well, all Casey's tyres, you can already see Casey's tyres are really not looking good. He's got to go 15 more minutes on this. Casey's not winning this race. A podium, these guys, the 10 seconds back, and the more the battle, the more that gap's going up. So right now, Casey needs to take advantage of that. Whilst these lot are squabbling. Oh, yellow flags. Ariel's at a spin. Has there been contact? Ariel drops down, and we're not going to be able to get a replay. What's happened? We saw the yellow flags. I don't believe anyone was ahead of them. Was there any traffic? You're looking... There's no one between. Ariel span on his own as Ariel may have gone in too deep. He's lucky not to get damaged. Oh, what is Zen doing? Zen gets the power on way too soon there. They're getting argy-bargy. I think Zen just had a massive torque. He loses the rear end there. It's going to get really argy-bargy. Zen gets pushed right off onto the gravel. And they're going to go and hit each other. Zen's going to go around and Mango's going to go back through. And is Zen going to like that? What's gone on there? Chaos. Ariel goes off at the corkscrew. Mango and Zen coming together. And whilst they're all over this, Mount is hunting down Casey. And Casey... his chance at a podium are looking better and better. And Mount's finally got some clean air there. Yeah. Keyboard inputs are on. We got a replay earlier. We got a replay in qualifying, but they've just not worked in the race for ages. I don't know why. Probably do need a highlights video, to be fair. And Casey and Mr. Mount all over the back of each other now. This is an absolute classic. That gap is now under a second. Casey, the tyres aren't really in his favour, but he's got heart. He's got a heart of a line here. He will fight till the end, and I'm just thinking, what's gonna go on here? I don't think Zen's really that... If Zen can catch him, I dread to think what will go on. If Zen will be a dick or not, we're yet to see. But Mr. Mount... he's right onto the back of Case here and expect maybe a move up towards the corkscrew. Nothing is going to stick. Casey actually out of the corkscrew, building a gap here, and maybe Mr. Marsh is comfortable just to sit behind him for a bit. Mango comfortably now with the younger tyres, let's say, pulling ahead of Zen. Traffic maybe for Mango coming up. Peachy is now 5 seconds off the back and gaining, but the squabbling really did help. Ariel's dropped down into 8th. Ariel is on the verge of not scoring points. He's going to try and make his way back up towards the corkscrew. Late move maybe onto Joe. No, don't think. He is not that type of guy. Dust kicked up again. Mr. Mount a bit closer this time, up towards turn 5. Is this going to be the move for the race win? Up towards the corkscrew, the famous corkscrew chicane. 7 and 8, no. Again, Casey just holds on really nicely up there. With 10 minutes to go, right now, Mr. Mount, does he have a bit more pace in him? Probably. Can he find a way through? Probably. Can Casey defend? Almost definitely. Is it going to go down to the wire? Probably not. But you never know. Casey can win this. This will be absolutely a brilliant, brilliant drive. Peach is closing down on Zen. Lewis is now up into 6th. Farrell's closing down on him, but fresh tyres for Lewis. Probably going to be able to hold on for a bit, up towards turn number 1. 9 minutes to go, I'm getting hungry. Can we hurry this up, please? Casey really pushing once they're kicking up Dawson. You see Mr. Mount's gaining. It's just up through here. This middle sector, Casey just so much better. But again, Mr. Mount's closer. He's going to think about the move up towards turn 6. He peaks to the left. Back inside Casey's slipstream, but the exit Casey gets through there. Up towards the corkscrew is pretty good. And through the corkscrew, to be fair, Casey all over the place, not letting Mr. Mount find a way through. Mr. Mount just has to brake a bit earlier. And now the exit of the corkscrew is where Casey just gains that time and that gap goes up again. But this time round, it's not, and you just think it's Casey's tyres now really starting to feel the effect. And this is where he made the move on Ariel up towards the final turn. Mr. Mount's got a good run. Casey covers the inside, though, this time unlike Ariel. And Mr. Mount's going to find it a bit harder to get past Casey. They're both twitchy. Mr. Mount has to avoid it. They both get the power on so early on that final turn. They're both twitchy, but down the inside line, then through turn 1, Mr. Mount takes the lead of this race again. Casey's going to try and fight back, though, down towards turn number 2. He holds on. He's got a few podiums to his name. The pair of them, neither of them have had a race win. We're going to get a brand new race winner either way, I feel. Is it going to be Mr. Mount? Came so close in Div 2 many times. Had a few podiums in Div 1 as well. Casey took him a good 15 races, I believe it was, to get that first podium in Spa in the wet. The podiums then came naturally to him after that once he broke that wall. And now he's looking to get his first race win, but the only thing between him and that is an angry Mr. Mount, who's racing brilliantly. He gets pushed wide. Good defense goes there by Casey. That gap closing down again, but Casey, good exit out of turn number 6. Pulls ahead and into the corkscrew. This is where Casey's brilliant. He just finds so much more time than Mr. Mount does, but Mr. Mount gains through there. He's driving the Lexus. Runs wide, going to cover the inside line again. Oh, Mr. Mount switching to the inside, late move. Casey didn't think he was close enough, and that's a brilliant and possibly decisive move there by Mr. Mount. But it's a long way up towards turn number 1, into the slipstream then. Little kink at 1, up towards turn 2, sorry, with the heavy braking zone. Casey took into the slipstream, he's going to think about it. He can't let Mr. Mount go. He's thinking about trying to find his way round the outside. Tries to find a gap on the inside for the switchback. Not quite there. And now Mr. Mount on the fresher tyres. He's a quicker driver. He's going to be able to put his foot down here. And I think he's going to be able to successfully bridge a gap. But Casey, we know he's going to dig deep right to the end. And I feel already looking at the gap, Mr. Mount just going to ease off into the distance. But that was brilliant by Mr. Mount. Casey Should have defended that line all the way to the end there. That's probably been Mr. Mount's favourite overtaking spot. Casey just gets comfortable, and Mr. Mount, he sees that gap, he goes for the gap, and he's been successful with it. But up towards the corkscrew, can Casey gain the time needed through here? Not the best line there by Mr. Mount. The rear a bit loose, risking a penalty through there, and he does get a penalty. I was thinking he was testing the track limits there, and he's going to have to serve it out of turn number 11, the final turn. Yellow flags up ahead, someone has gone round as well. There is PX4 in the wall at his home race. Casey, twitch at the rear, trying to get power on as soon as possible, is going to pull ahead. And it's going to be a big gap here, but Mr. Mount's going to have to try and close down in the final 5 minutes. And that, you just saw Mr. Mount goes a bit too deep. We know Casey's brilliant through the corkscrew. I think Mr. Mount knows that as well. Oh, wow, this is... It's nervy, it's close. You have to serve at the burn zones. Well, it's the burn zone on the exit of 11. Not entry to 1. Mr. Mount, he's gaining. I think up the line there'll be 3 laps to go up towards the corkscrew. Casey knows now though, don't let him have that gap up towards turn 11. Casey being there blocks Mr. Mount. It's the closest he's ever been through the corkscrew on exit. But having Casey there as a bit of a guide, Casey goes a bit deep in towards turn number 9. Down the inside, Casey's going to have to try and defend. But Mr. Mount's going to have his favourite inside line. Casey's going to have to really brake late for this one. He goes for it, but Mr. Mount really late on the brakes. But I think Casey maybe able to just get the better X here, despite the tyre when he's tucked into the slipstream, and he's very close this time. Brilliant move there by Mr. Mount. Casey goes deep, gives Mr. Mount that outside line. Brilliant round the outside. He's going to try and fight. Look how late he is. Look how much he closes. Side by side they go. Can he find the inside line through that second apex? No, he can't. Mr. Mount shuts the door. And is that the race win given to Mr. Mount again, or will he find another mistake? Twitchy through 3. 3 laps to go. And I think the tyre wear, Casey though has held on brilliantly. Look at the tyre wear, and Zen and Peachy are right at it now. Peachy's tyres aren't that well, much spent. Last lap, Mango, 25, he's suffering. Peachy's looking at a podium here if he can get past Zen. Zen goes deep. We know Zen's going to fight all the way. Despite tyre advantages, Zen does not care. Up towards turn number 6. Peachy, he's been a bit rough this race. He's still looking at penalties, but a podium on track. He's now got 6 seconds to find and close down to get Mango. He probably has that, but having Zen here is not helping. If Zen's like, if I can't get the podium, no one can. Brilliant switch back there around the outside. And at 1.7 seconds, you have to feel Mr. Mount has finally got this race win. But brilliant racing by Casey nonetheless. We will see then 2 laps to go. Seven seconds that gap is. Last lap from Angor 23. You're gonna have to put in. He's gonna have to put in blistering laps here, Peachy. If he wants to catch Mango. Mango's actually trying to catch Casey here. Casey, seconds not looking safe. 23.3 compared to a 24 flat. 7/10 last lap. And what an exciting end to the race this will be. Oh, hits the curb again. Peachy really loose at the rear. Aerial on the putting Lewis under pressure up towards turn number 5 we go. Lewis going to cover that inside line. Ariel, after his mistake early on, Lewis goes a bit deep, tries to move across, but guess what? Ariel's already there. The championship leader ain't going to be taking many points home today. The rest is going to be hoping for right now is 4 points. Sends 18 seconds up the road, and Lewis is going to try and make him only take home 2 points. Ariel's got the fastest lap point as well. But Lewis says, "You shall not pass." These lot will also have a lap to go. Red light for Lewis. A lap to go for these lot. Mango closing in on Casey. I don't think Peachy will be able to close down to Mango. Yellow flags. Who's this for? I believe that's one of the back markers that's pulled off to the side of the road. He sees the blue flag. They're getting moving again. I believe it's probably going to be PX4. Indeed it is. Weird way of letting lap cars through. But Casey knows. Red light. Look how slim this is. Casey's going to have to really manage it to the end here. His tyres are spent. It's going to be very close towards the end. Who's going to get this second place? And you're just looking. There's battles everywhere. Mango's hunting down Casey. Zen is off. Zen's heading off. Was that coming together with a back marker? Ariel's fuel is at an all-time low. Lewis's fuel is also at an all-time low. 1.5 seconds. Casey's got 2 turns to hold on to for a career best in GTL. But around the final turn, it's been a brilliant race. Up towards the line we go. Mr. Mount will win here at Laguna Seca. He is a GTEL race winner, and up towards the line then look how close he is to running out of fuel. Mango's gaining, but Casey will take second and Mango will take third. Brilliant racing from everyone and a brilliant strategy. Brilliant move on with the penultimate lap. Brilliant battle. Peachy will take home 4th. Zen will hold on for 5th in the end. A brilliant comeback drive for him, and Lewis started last. He will finish 6th, looking early on at a good chance at a podium. Spin probably took him out of him a bit. He will take 2nd, holding off the championship leader, and Brian will take home the final point unless Joe has a last lap or last turn move for him. But it's 2 Brits on the podium. It's going to be a drag race up towards the line, but the Merc Power, Brian will take home the final point. But Mr. Mount is your race winner here at Laguna Seca. Casey, 2nd. Brilliant race by him. Brilliant to hold on to there. But it's been a long time coming. Mr. Mount is your race winner here at Laguna Seca. Well done to him. Congratulations, and Casey with a career best. Unless it will let me save the replay this time. Nope. Wow, what a race. I'm out of breath. Mr. Mount wins from Casey. It's 2 Lexuses that win, followed by Mango in 3rd. Peachy with his best GTL result in 4th. Zen's it's becoming a bit of a favoured spot for him. P5. Lewis 14th to 6th. He'll be happy with that. Ariel 7th. Not been his race at all. Brian will take home the final point in 8th. And then non-point scoring Joe, Sick, Hardcore, Neo, PX4 and Phil DNFing. Thank you all for watching. That was an absolutely brilliant race. And I will see you all tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, congratulations, Mr. Mount. Thank you all for watching. Join me tomorrow, hopefully. Until then.